Well, hi, folks, and welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. I am your host, Frank Hutton, and today I am excited to welcome in some people from the Mississippi Mud Monsters. And if you haven't heard of them, not sure where you've been, but it hasn't been around here. Mud Monsters baseball starts this week, and I'm going to have some special guests from them today. So you're going to want to stick around because when I come back, we're going to meet them. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Well, hi, folks, and welcome back into this edition of This Week in Pearl. Now I am joined by our esteemed guests, and I'm happy to announce them from the Mud Monsters. We have our field manager, Mr. Joe Pesci, and the absolute top dog general manager, Anthony Seymour.
Appreciate
Welcome.
It, man. Good to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks coming in to see us. Exciting day. We're coming up on opening day this week.
This is the week. Yeah,
Anthony, what do you think? Are you excited?
Very excited. Listen, right now, and Jay's leading the charge with the guys on the field. It's going great, and man, they're great. I mean, hey, we're undefeated. I know you know the corniest joke, right? But the excitement's in the air. It's opening week, and all the pageantry, all the hard work and hustle, and working closely with Jay and getting the guys in the marketplace. It's all. Yeah. It all culminates on Thursday night, which is exciting.
Yes, I mean, this has been a process.
Yes.
It's taken about a year, right? You're building to this moment.
Right.
So describe that a little bit about coming into Pearl and where you came from and how you got here.
Well, thank you. Honestly, we have a very generous ownership group that looked at the market and did their research and said, hey, man, this place is a can't miss. It's fantastic. Got a wonderful stadium that, listen, we said, let's turn this into a year-round entertainment venue. Mm-hmm. Got the right guy in Jay to lead the baseball charge, and then I just hang around and talk to people like yourself. But I try to get out in the community and give back because we ask on a year-round basis. We ask a lot of the community, and it's important for us to have that presence and give back. And you couldn't have a better, more responsive community than this one. So things are working out very nicely.
Excited to be in Pearl?
Oh, very excited. Are you kidding? Come on.
Now, where are you joining us from?
Well, so I'm originally from Toronto, but similar to Jay, we both worked in Florida with baseball. Mm-hmm. I came over from the St. Louis Cardinals spring training operation down in South Florida. Loved it, but again, here the opportunity and the opportunity to make a mark in the community, leave an impact, and be part of something great and raise a family and all that fun stuff. This is a great place.
Wonderful. So, who's this guy? Who's this guy? What does he do?
So honestly,
introduce him for us.
Excuse me. We cross paths and in the world of baseball, which is a big world but a small world at the same time. And Jay headed up a charge with the New York Mets. Mm-hmm. It was very highly respected, and there was a significant project done in terms of finding the right guy. And listen, it was extensive, and Jay shone more than absolutely head and shoulders above everybody, and just what resonated around the baseball world was this guy's fantastic, and we connected, and Jay totally gets it with getting the guys in the marketplace, having guys that are indicative of your market, like Mississippi-based guys with Mississippi roots, and a great baseball leader. So I'll let you talk to him. He's the baseball guy.
He's the baseball
guy. Nerd. I'll give you the color all day long. Listen, hopefully your show's 3 hours long. I'll stop talking, but it's really good fun. That's what we've got on tap, and we've got the right man leading the charge.
And I definitely want to get in the weeds. We're going to come back to you and talk a little bit about stuff that happens after baseball.
Yes, sir.
But so welcome, Joe.
Well,
I mean Jay.
Jay, yeah.
So I was going to ask. That's where my brain's going. All right, so
we also have a pitcher named Zach Morris, so he gets the Saved by the Bell stuff, and I get the Joe Pesci stuff.
And you get the Joe Pesci. That was exactly what I was going to ask. So no relation.
Yeah, but the players are real excited for Thursday, opening day. They've been waiting this for a long time. Some of the other seasons start earlier than ours, so they've been really chomping at the bit to get out there.
Go. So tell us, introduce yourself to Pearl first. Tell us who are you? Where'd you come from? How's Mama and them? All that kind of stuff.
I'm Jay Pesci, not Joe, but born and raised near San Francisco, in California, and then been living in Florida the last 6 years, working for the New York Mets as a coach, manager, etc. I've always, I played baseball for so long that I'm more of a player's manager, so I'm always trying to give the players the best opportunity to succeed. And some of them have a really great opportunity here, so it's kind of get the leadership from the players and get them to kind of form their identity. And so far in spring training, it's gone really well with a lot of guys that like really good teammates, work hard, hustle, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really pleased with the players so far.
So your baseball background?
I played with the A's, Mariners, and Giants in the minor leagues, and then ended up in independent ball for a long time, which is why I know that there's some quality players here, and I knew what to expect coming in, because when I first got to indie ball, I was really surprised that certain players didn't get a chance in the major leagues, etc. So I'm just excited to have that.
What's the percentage now anyway? I mean, a good player coming out of college, going to the major league, I mean, what's the percentage of him even being a good player?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be really good to make it to major league. Yes?
Yeah, you almost don't even want to talk about percentages. If you go by percentages, then everyone's going to give up hope. Yeah. However, you increase your percentage when you live and die baseball every day.
Sure.
When you do everything to keep your body in shape and eat healthy and all that, that really ups your percentage. So people that stick with baseball and are in it for the long haul, the percentage goes way up. But if you look at the numbers, you don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So you came out of the minor leagues and then off to Florida you went. And how was that experience?
It was great. Yeah, I learned a lot coaching with a lot of guys that had tons of experience. I was in AAA and got to be influenced by a great manager who's been managing AAA for 20 years and pitching coach, lived with the pitching coach in an apartment and been able to talk baseball. So really learned a lot doing that.
Real good mentor. Wonderful. All right, so you guys meet and here you are.
Yeah.
So you get a brand new team. How did you go about selecting players? How did that work? I mean,
it was a long process.
Clearly, there's got to be some formula, some math, or something that you employ to make that work, right? Or is it just throwing darts? It's not throwing darts at a dartboard, right?
Right away, just talking to any scouts that I knew, had connections with. Agents will reach out. I'd reach out to agents and just trying to get an idea of the caliber of play. So I got lucky, let's say, with a few signings of local guys. So Davis Bradshaw, who you probably know, great player, AAA experience. He was right here in Pearl or Flowood. So that was a quick signing, and it was a good one to get me started. And Braylon Skinner as well, who played for Mississippi State. He was all excited to come and play in his hometown. So right there, I had a good jump on everything.
Yeah, just right out of the gate.
Yeah. And then, you don't know how quick or how slowly to gradual to make that process, but it all worked out in the end because I expected certain things from the players when they showed up, but I've only seen them really on paper. And so I was very pleasantly surprised by the caliber of play with these guys.
So recruiting, I mean, are you watching a lot of film? So the kind of walk me through that process.
Yeah, a lot of word of mouth from just managers I know that maybe had the player. I'd reach out to the teams that had a certain player and get their feedback, and they usually give me an honest assessment. Everyone tries to give an honest assessment, but you can tell when someone's a good person because there's another manager that's always trying to help them out and say, yeah, you should get this guy.
Yeah, I guess you kind of you kind of get a feel for it. You know the way they're talking to you, right?
Yeah.
So what's the roster like right now? How many's there?
The roster's down to 28. I had to reduce last night, which was a tough day because there's a lot of good players that I.
So you actually where did you start?
Where did I start with?
What was the number 34. You started with?
Yeah, it was 36.
36.
Yeah, 36 down to 28, and then it'll be further reduced. But yesterday was a tough day because there was a lot of guys that did good things to establish the culture of the team and kind of get everyone excited. Just great people. So I'm going to try to help them find other jobs as well.
Land somewhere.
Yeah.
Keep them in baseball. So you're at 28 now, and then now is that like that's rules?
Yeah, the rules are during this regular season. It's 25 for a while, then eventually 24.
And then it comes down to 24, and everybody's got 24. So everybody's trying to make the team.
Yeah.
So, obvious question: what kind of pitching do you have?
We got some good pitching.
Who's the star?
Well, we have Tyree Thompson from the New Orleans area. He was, up to AA and did well. Rodney Theophile coming from Nicaragua, who has great experience in AA.
Who?
Rodney Theophile. So you'll know him when you see him.
Theophile. Now Greg Flynn's going to have fun pronouncing all of this.
Oh yeah, you know Greg too. Greg is our public address.
Right. Theophile.
Mm-hmm. But our pitching is very strong, and just a lot of guys with experience, and then some kind of younger guys that have shown some good life.
Yeah, so he's from Nicaragua.
Yes.
Really cool. I mean, now I think probably the next most important position on the field is the catcher, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now that may, other people may differ with me. They may know first base or shortstop or whatever.
We're holding three catchers for now.
But who's our catcher? And where's he from?
We have a couple. We just have Victor Diaz, who is with the Astros organization. His brother's Einar Diaz, who plays in the major leagues with the Astros. So I think they talk a lot because he's very good at pitch calling and keeping the game clean back there. And we have Andrio Lantigua, who I had with the Mets. So I know what I'm getting out of him, just great defense. He's more of a defensive catcher. And then Nicholas Hassan, who can play everywhere, but also helps out with the catching.
I think the catcher is your field general.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one managing the game, the flow of the game, and in my opinion.
Yeah, that was the top priority for me to get someone, especially with the pitch calling so important and working with the pitchers as well. So I made sure I got a few guys that I know work well with pitchers.
You thinking that
it's not so much about throwing out guys as it used to be.
Right.
It's more about controlling a pitching staff and kind of being the general there.
Working well with because they touch the ball every single pitch.
You're right. And you see a lot of field managers are now, former catchers. But at the same time, playing to Jay's heart, a lot of times the captain in the infield too is your shortstop, your previous position, and then it's often that strength up the middle. Sometimes you played center field too.
Mainly
up the middle. So those guys, those are your captains right there.
Right.
So like I said, Jay's one of a few guys that is not from the catcher background. So it's kind of cool.
You're coming from the shortstop position.
Yep.
But the shortstop and the catcher are communicating all the time.
Yeah, the shortstop's also kind of the overseer of the field, but
yes, because you're calling the defense
not having
on the
catching
infield.
experience. That's why it's even more important for me to get someone who knows the catching and knows.
Right.
Yeah,
because that's a really important position. And
absolutely, often called the captain of the infield or captain of the defense.
Pitching, catching, and up the middle. Right. Got to have those guys. So who's first? Who's on first? Who's on? Kind of what's the rest of the team look like?
For first base, we have a lot of good infielders that can play over there. We have a guy, Roberto Gonzalez.
Lefty or righty?
Right-handed hitter, right-handed thrower.
Okay.
Tall guy. So he's more of a second baseman, third baseman, but he's gonna adapt to first base. If you can play second, you can play first, especially if you have the height. So
sure,
he's gonna probably start there. And
how tall is he?
Goes 6'3", 6'4".
Oh yeah.
So maybe on this team a little short because we got some monsters. We have a guy who's 7'2".
No way.
James Gorey from Australia.
First baseman?
No, he's a pitcher.
Imagine standing that when you're.
Is he over the top?
Yeah, he's over the top. So he's got the extension. And
he's
everything.
7'2".
Yeah, so it's going to be an adjustment for some hitters.
No kidding, because that ball starts out really high.
Yeah, and usually a guy that tall doesn't have control, but he's has very good control, which is.
Oh my goodness, that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's coming from a different altitude. He turns heads all the time. Like I remember we had that conversation when you first signed him. His initial question, if I remember correctly, was along the lines of, "How's our travel?" And he wanted to know the size of the bus and whatnot. So how come he's asking? I thought it was maybe a prima donna kind of question, but no, it's height related. Oh,
right,
sense,
he needs the leg room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
All those considerations go and everything. Jay and I talked from back around Christmas, and to Jay's point here, though, he's reviewing players, and I thought you were very considerate. I mean, guys sending video and any kind of content to me sometimes because they see my title as general manager, and that's what I put on my card. Prime Minister of Fun, just so you know that I'm not too serious. It's different than the major leagues where the player procurement sometimes comes from the general manager and that staff. Jay heads it all up by himself for probably 4 months. He was doing it, and like I said, very considerate, always following up with people and looking at everybody's video. Man, that was a task. And I mean, you looked at a lot of stuff, and testament to Jay's background in the industry. A lot of people respected his opinion and came to him because of his background. So you had a lot of work on hand.
Well, as a player, there'd be times where you're looking for a job for the next season and you're reaching out to people and don't get too many responses sometimes. So I try to respond to everyone. It's sometimes can get
Right, and
tedious,
that's a
but
great thing. I mean, that shows your character.
Yeah.
You know, that you're willing to talk to everybody, even if you're not taking them and saying, "Look, it's just not the time for you." You know, I get it.
Yeah, they all
Some of
just
those
want honesty.
Right, they always want
yeah.
honesty, and that's a wonderful thing.
Jay came through this league too and posted home run numbers that still, not still, like it was a long time ago, that exist that haven't been beaten. So it's kind of cool. And I saw a couple of people present their Jay's baseball card to him on Friday night to get it signed. You know,
No
it's kinda fun.
kidding.
And I like the players seeing, oh, look at the stats. Oh, new level of respect.
Now, that's
So-
pretty cool. Just somebody showing, hey, I've got your. Will you sign it for me?
Yeah, the rest of the coaching staff as well. Robert Carson, who's from Hattiesburg, he's played in the major leagues for the Mets for a couple of years, and then we have James McCohen, our hitting coach, who was with the Mariners organization for a long time. So, you know, when you look at those guys, you see athletes, so it helps for the players to kind of buy into what we're teaching and everything.
I have a coach son who coaches baseball.
Yeah.
Good.
Loves it. He actually coached at Madison Central High School.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
they're
They
going
got a nice
to
program.
they're going to Oxford tonight because Oxford High School and Madison Central, they split, so tonight's the decision. And if you win tonight, it's off to North State. So
Yeah, I love how the local community is so into sports around here. It's,
I know,
it's
right?
refreshing. It's nice to.
right, and my son, he just had his first baby, so you know he's struggling with being a baseball coach in high
Yeah.
school and having a brand new child at home, and my daughter-in-law is an athletic director at Mississippi College. Isn't that crazy? So I'm around it.
Yeah, you sure are.
My kids were throwing balls before they could sit up or walk. That was the first thing they were doing. So I relate a little bit. To you, especially on that. All right, so we were kind of talking about who all's where. You talking 7'2". That's a massive pitcher. Is he like a starter? Is he a closer? What is it?
He's a starter.
He's a starter.
Yeah, most likely we'll be seeing him opening day starting.
No kidding. I get to see
So
him on
come out Thursday, right?
I get to see him.
6:30,
Yeah,
I get to
6:30
see him on
start.
Thursday because he may be on the mound.
Yeah.
Thursday night. That's incredible. I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
So what's our outfield look like?
Great. They got Braylon Skinner in center field, who's patrols well out there, and it's a big park, so
What kind of
there's a lot
speed
room.
does he have?
Really good speed. Yeah.
Even
Wait to
yesterday
see,
in
yeah.
practice, I saw it.
Because that's a lot of ground that you have to cover. Here again, my coach son played center field, and that's a lot of ground
there's a lot of ground.
that you have to cover.
And Davis Bradshaw, a local guy that's going to be in left field, and he's also has speed, a bigger guy, but with speed, so it's a good combination. And then we're working on right field. We'll see a little competition there, but yeah.
So defense looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Third base,
Solid.
we didn't talk about third base.
Third base, Ryan Cash has been in the league for a while, always posting solid numbers. Catches every ball so far as I've seen. So that's all we can ask at this point. He looks great.
He looks good.
Yeah, I've got rave reviews about him, so I know he's a guy signed early that I knew I could count on a solid year from. So
Have you been able to kind of figure out kind of what a batting average is for the team? Have you looked at that just based on their prior experience?
yeah, it's hard because there's some guys coming from different leagues that maybe there's high altitude, so they're hitting everyone in the league's hitting well, and you're not sure what you're going to get when they come over
They're
here.
all going out of the
yeah,
park.
and then there's
Right.
guys that had certain numbers in Double-A, and you can just kind of imagine how it's going to translate to this league, which is a little lighter on the pitching compared to Double-A, but it's more like a high A type caliber. So
They can swing the bat.
yeah,
Is what I'm hearing you say.
yeah.
Yeah, it's important. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you got to get on base, however you do it.
Yeah.
Either get hit, walk, or swing the bat. One. You can't score if you don't get on base.
Yeah.
I mean, a layman's term, but I mean.
Yeah. Overall, just very happy with where we're at right now, and then, but
So
you got to play the game, right? You can't just-
How many official practices have we had? And
It's been about 10 to this point. You're allowed 14 days of spring training in this league. We've had a lot of inter-squad games, so trying to get the guys as much at bats as possible and trying to get the pitchers as much like live innings as possible so they're ready. Just building up the pitching staff. A lot of guys came in great shape. They were told to build up to 5 innings if they're starters, so they came out and they're ready to go.
so you expected them to do certain stuff on their own.
Yeah, it's
Right.
too short of a spring training. 2
Sure.
weeks is short for a spring training, so they really need to stay in shape. And a lot of players now are at facilities in the off season and doing this or that, so they're pretty good about staying in shape these days.
So Nicaragua's kind of far away. What's some of the other countries where we have?
We have a lot of players from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one player from Cuba,
Okay.
an outfielder, and then Dominican Republic, a couple catchers.
Yeah.
Yeah. infielders.
Trying to remember if we have a Canadian. We have an Australian.
We have an Australian.
Yeah, no Canadians.
No, I don't think we. Yeah, some interest in hockey though. So I was.
Yeah, I
that
figured
was
so.
gonna be
Right,
a
right.
Canadian thing, but
So it's a good mix.
Yeah.
yeah.
It sounds fun, and got 2 Mississippi kids. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a few more. We have Jackson Smith, who's
Yeah.
has been in the area. A few guys that are semi-local, a couple hours away, Louisiana.
All right, so off the wall question, because it's important.
Sure.
The field.
Oh,
Who's handling that? Because I know who's the field guy now. I know it's not you, obviously, but who
we're talking about grounds crew.
Yeah,
and
grounds crew.
We have Evan Barry's doing a great job. I mean, we have one of the
Yeah.
best facilities in the league.
Oh,
if
yeah.
Probably the best. So the players showed up and they're saying, okay, independent ball, haven't played it yet, not sure what to expect, and then they see this beautiful stadium and they're like, okay, I'm in the right place. So that was it was
That's-
kind of nice to
that's
show
a-
that stadium off
Yeah,
when the
that's
players
a
would show
wonderful field.
And I'm be honest with you, I'm a little biased, but yeah, I picked up a few guys from the airport and brought them in, and that's the first thing. Oh man, they looked at the field. They looked at the dimensions on the wall every single time. Doesn't matter if you're a pitcher or a hitter or a position player, but they looked at the distance.
Yeah.
But they were definitely impressed with with the facility. And I noticed from the onset, you guys did a great job, Robert included, and Jamie talking about this is a nice facility. And I heard the guys immediately adopt to that.
Well, that's where I was going, because
Yeah.
I was wondering who's going to be taking care of it, because that's so important when
is.
you're trying to recruit players.
Evan Barry
and that's
does a
where-
great job, and like I said, the way you really showcase the facility too, it's almost like it's almost like a recruiting tool.
Yeah, it was
Kinda
a
fun.
huge
It
selling
truly
point
is.
for me.
Yes.
In the off season, I could say the AA Braves were here. Great stadium. 3 batting cages, everything like that. The pitchers, I would tell, very pitcher friendly park. The hitters, I wouldn't mention that.
It's going to take a lot to get
But
it
this
out.
park will teach you to be a good hitter
It will.
overall, like an all-around hitter. So
So when you showed up, how did you? I mean, you've hit. I'm sure you've been coaching in it now for several weeks, but how do you like the way that it plays?
great, yeah, it's
Very
great.
happy
Yeah, I
with
mean the infield surface is outstanding. So that's always as an infielder, check that out right away.
Immediately,
But just
right.
the overall aspect of the whole stadium, just knowing, okay, this is professional baseball, and this is a good spot where everyone's at.
Did y'all have to bring in anything, Anthony, like on field wise, like any clay, or did y'all have to do a lot of field maintenance?
Nothing different than any previous year. So Evan has his usual, let's say, calendar of needs. They didn't change because he's always had great upkeep on it. We do a lot of events on it too. I mean, we
right?
host Bellhaven, who's having a terrific
Just
year.
had the
and
Governor's
extending-
Cup.
Yeah, we had the Governor's Cup, 2 big games. And we try to make ourselves that central spot for entertainment. And sometimes it's a gauge. It could be kickball in the field. It could be your company doing that kind of thing. So
Right.
Evan does a great job of balancing and making sure that the playability is fantastic and the appearance too is really good.
So we're still going to see all the high school kids out there
Yes.
dragging the field,
Yes,
and
yes.
and doing the normal thing that we're used to seeing at any stadium.
And they want to work for Evan because he's created that environment similar to the on-field side, where Evan's got a good bunch of fellows coming in. In this case, they all are guys, but it doesn't have to be gender
Look, all my
specific, but-
kids did it. All
good.
my kids worked when the Braves got here. All of them, well, maybe not one. One probably missed out, but I know I had 3 kids that all worked there. All did field maintenance.
Well,
so-
it's a good you get that attention to detail, and trust me, Evan's not happy in his guys until the game is over and there's not a bad bounce. That's how they live. It's amazing,
Well, that was
but
part of my
that
question.
care-
Playing infield, that ball is going to hit a certain way. That's why I was asking you. Do you like the way it plays? When balls bounce in the infield and coming off that lip on the grass. How is that good?
It looks good. I haven't been able to take ground balls out there. I'll probably sneak those in at 8 in the morning one day when things settle a little bit.
When they settle a little bit, right? Because I know you want to keep doing
Then
it.
I'll know for sure. But
Yeah.
everything looks good. There hasn't been bad hops. And
Yeah, mound's in good shape.
yeah, excellent.
Looks great. So Barry's got it top notch.
Oh,
He's really good.
He cares. That's
Yeah.
that's all you need. Care, and then he's got the knowledge and the experience. So
Yeah.
hand in hand, he's
Right.
an absolute pro.
Yeah, it's perfect because we have such a long season that anyone around the ballpark can contribute to kind of the atmosphere with the front office being great and everything. It kind of just uplifts the players. So grounds crew, front office, whatever, anyone who's around, the high school kids that are dragging the field, positive energy and try to make this better
I think
for the
it's great.
players.
Now I know he's sitting right there, but I'm gonna put you on the spot just a minute. So all the conversation, all the talk when you got here, what was one of the things that surprised you the most that he may not know about? What was something that surprised you the most? Yeah. Something that, like, wow, I didn't even realize.
Field was surprising, even though it was already tucked up quite a bit.
Right.
Probably just how hard this guy works. I mean, I knew it coming in just because of the texts every morning about different things. But yeah, he's just up and on the go from early to late and always available, which is great for the GM. So anything I need, he's always there to help out.
So him in person.
He's the bright spot.
Him in person. Yeah. He's the bright spot.
He's our first all-star. So.
Well, but listen, I got to make fun of myself.
Okay.
So the fun story that Jay always remembers is that we had Jay brought in a terrific guy, and so he said, hey, I've got this guy coming in, he's a bullpen catcher, and this guy breeds the excitement that Jay exudes too. So this guy was in early, and you know the story. I'm going to say, I was in the office, silly hours, and I said, okay, I'm going to do my sit-ups right here. Which I don't know why I chose to do sit-ups in the office that day. So Kevin Brown came through with his wife. He was so excited. Somehow he got in the facility. It was very early in the morning, maybe 7:30 on a Saturday. And I might be pushing. It might have been a little bit later. But anyway, so that's the fun story. I think Jay thinks I'm at the ballpark at dark 30.
He showed up a few hours early for the time allotted and got him doing sit-ups.
I always just think it's fun because Kevin Brown and his wife came in and literally I was doing my sit-ups and they were right there. So that was my introduction to the first member of the coaching staff right here.
In your workout session.
It was funny. You know, it is just one of those days. It was chilly or it was wet or whatever it was. And anyway, silly stuff. But listen, I'll be quick. If you're going to compliment me, I'm surrounded by great people, truly, on the field and in the front office, and they make it all tick. You guys know David Kerr. He's the heart and soul, and everybody around though, creates that atmosphere. And same with the coaching staff. It's interesting, as Jay knows, in independent baseball, we all work. We all under that same umbrella, and we're all on the same payroll, Evan included. So you'll see it hopefully in opening night. You're going to see a nice look across the board. I'm not going to give it away, but there's going to be a certain color that will resonate amongst the front office staff, the players in the field, and the grounds crew. It'll be kind of cool, exciting.
It really is going to be exciting and fun, and I love baseball. And, most people do. I can't think of anybody who doesn't. If you're an American, you love baseball. I mean, come on. I mean, it is America's game, right? So, anyway. All right, so you're excited about the season.
Yeah.
Excited about the year. Looking forward. Mm-hmm. You hate to cut people, but you're fixing to get down to 24. Yeah. You have to be at 24 by when?
I can be at 25 for the first few weeks of the season, then eventually it's 24. But yeah, by the night before opening day, it has to be down to 25.
So you've got a couple more that just aren't going to quite make it.
Yeah.
Hate to see that.
But definitely could make it. And I wish I could keep everybody at this point.
It's a numbers thing at this point, right?
Yeah.
On that side, it's definitely a business. But I will say this too: is Jay's always trying to find these guys, like you said before, another position, another job, another place.
Mm-hmm. And you never know when an opportunity for our team could come up.
And there may be another team in the league that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's relationships.
Right. That they might can go play for you. Things happen, right? Yeah. People break bones and people get sick and things happen.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Something you said before too is, and Jay well knows this because especially with the Mets, but it's no longer just coming into spring training and getting in shape. It's a year-round job. These guys, it's so lucrative to make that major league minimum salary that the guys come in there, they're still following their dream, whether it's at any level. So they're not coming into camp like you said. They can amass 5 innings. Probably by the time they get here and that kind of thing. So
they're staying in shape. It's a year-round. They're living and breathing baseball.
Thank you for helping me. Yes, they are.
They're staying in shape. This isn't. I've been working at retail at McDonald's, and I'm gonna come out and play baseball. It's not that way.
Yeah, and I think you look at character guys too. So that's that's why it makes a decision so tough. All these decisions now, but like I said, it is a business, but. Jay has great vision for these guys for their next step.
Yeah, we want players that are good in the community as well as good on the field, but we're lucky enough to find both. So
right, I think that's fantastic. All right, so real quick, baseball season's over. Now what?
I'm ready. Okay, so constantly off-season events, and that's where we have to be. So. Listen, one of the things that our owner said, and forgive me for saying listen, one of the things our owner said was in our initial press conferences, bear with us through opening weekend, and then we're eventually going to morph into a year-round facility where, on your entertainment radar, you're going to be looking at Trustmark Park, see what's going on. So, the kind of things we'll be doing, we've got a couple of baseball events, amateur events from Perfect Game, USSSA events at the ballpark, and then we'll have civic events, 5Ks, I'm hoping we're going to do some beer tastings, let's say some seasonal beer tastings or food pairings on site, kind of almost like a taste of the town, those kind of events. Like I said, bring out the fall brews. We're going to do some things related to Halloween. Then we're looking at doing some festival light ceremonies and just keeping the place focal so that you've got that year-round activity. And listen, it complements the whole entire area. And I'll give you your Chamber of Commerce story. If we pull out of area interest too and we get heads and beds, man, our owner looks like a gem. And that's right. My goal, to work with the people that we have on our staff, and they're all go-getters. So
sure.
That's the kind of thing we're trying to match that calendar up year-round so that, again, we've got focal and there's no dust.
Well, you mentioned David Kerr, staff.
Great guy.
Who's your assistant? Who else is on your staff?
Oh, man, thank you for asking. So we've got, you look down, we've got Nora Hewitt, and she's our CFO. She makes dollars and cents of everything. We've got a food and beverage director, and John Hart. And both of them have come over from the previous regime, so they have that knowledge, that history. And in different roles, different positions. We have Barry Smith. She's a director of the Sweet Life. She's got that personality to really drive it. We got Keith Wilson, Keith has been with us for a couple of years now. When I say a couple, probably closer to 6 or 7. And he started as a bat boy. So there's something to be said for a guy who knows every facet of the stadium. And, it's
that's your go-to guy.
He really knows it. He cares. So he's there. He knows everything you need to know. We also have Macy. Macy's brand new. She handles a lot of our social media side. She comes from College Wood Bat, and there's a lot of compliments. I don't know, I'm talking with my hands, excuse me.
No, you're good.
She comes, like I said, from College Wood Bat, where you need to be creative. And there's a lot of compliments on our social media, so about the the color and the vibrancy of our social media. So she definitely gets credit with that, along with leadership from David Kerr on that side of things. Listen, you got a supportive ownership group. I'm being honest, where they are allowing us to bring in people. We have local talent from virtually every school here in the area. We have Tougaloo College, we have Jackson State, we've got Ole Miss, we've got Mississippi State.
Southern.
We got Southern, excuse me, yes, we sure do. We have Hines. I mean, it's kind of fun, and there's Pearl High School alumni with us. Ladarius Carpenter's with us, Chris Tapia. There's talent everywhere. If I'm selling any names short, forgive me, but I think you're going to like what you see. And then we built in the strengths, and forgive me for talking so much, Jay, but let's say even your public address announcer, Greg, who you were talking about,
Greg Flynn.
but I mentioned there, I mean, you never let those good things get away. Just like a Thirsty Thursday, we brought that back, and then we invented something else. We created free parking. And by free parking, you think, man, we recreated the wheel.
I know, right?
So build on those strengths of 2 decades of success. Like I said, Thirsty Thursday, Greg. And then add a few new things on there, so we're year-round, and we've got free parking, and bam, let's go.
That Thirsty Thursday always adds to the atmosphere
of
the ballpark. As a player, not as a drinker. It was
but
always nice.
As a player,
it was always nice that night because everyone was a little crazier and a little more into it. And so that's great.
A little more energy, a little more vibe, and you can push the envelope on the Thursday. You can have a little more fun. Maybe you fake a proposal where the girl says no. You stage it, but it goes over well. For a laugh, I mean. So that's the fun we can have, and that's what we're trying to do.
I know. I'm looking forward to that, to seeing a lot of these, because you get in a rut usually, when you just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And we had the Braves here for 20 years.
Yes, sir.
And that's wonderful. It was great, but it was the same thing every year, over and over and over. All right, so sponsorship-wise, let me just ask on the business side, how because you mentioned Sweet Life, how did all of that go so far? Being a new team, brand new. How did that go? How did it go with the suites up there? How did it go with the outfield fence? And how did?
You mind if I take this one?
Yeah, please.
And jump in, because it doesn't happen without this kind of relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
That Jay's in the community and really getting the guys.
This
out there.
question's for both of y'all.
Good. Well, I'll start with just saying, hey, the response has been terrific. That people really want to support, and one of the things that our ownership group wants to do is too, and be bold. And I'll say David Kerr and I both agree with this. Is that let's patronize locally. We ask a lot of our community, so let's give back. So everything we do, we try to stay local. So in let's say in previous years, when you're with an affiliated team, sometimes you're contractually bound to do something. Through Major League Baseball, you got to order those jerseys from here, the billboards from. We stay local with everything, so that we turn that wheel and we show the appreciation. And like I said, we're looking for that support, that partnership. It's nice. I mean, you've got it. forgive me, but you got to spend money on uniforms. Well, why not stay locally? Excuse me. Got to spend money on, soft drink product, water, sport drinks,
signage.
All that signage. We stay local with things. So again, that's an easy move, right? And we did it. And like I said, we hired all locally too. I mentioned the colleges, but all of our game day staff, all the support staff, all the technology, the IT, everything that we do has that local flavor, contingent, connection, and tentacle. So those are, I don't want to call them bragging points. So the response has been good. So when we have a need too, we can reach in on a trade or let's say a third-party vendor, the support has been really good. And so I'll brag and say, hey, listen, I think you're going to come up to the ballpark. I said, wow, it's a nice number of sponsors. There's a great number of year-round suite patrons. Like people hold the suites year-round. And that's that's a commitment. But they see the value in entertaining. So that's been a nice check and a nice compliment. Like I said, you get the right people in handling things like Barry Smith and our whole food and beverage next level catering takes care of it too. Forgive me for rambling.
No, you're good. That brings us
good.
to the next obvious question. So, inflation the way it is, the dollar doesn't go quite as far. What's it going to be like for an average family of four to come to a Mud Monsters game?
So, if you're asking me the fan cost index, I could calculate it in my head. I'm Canadian, right, so I'll give you the exchange. But no, listen, you can come on in the ballpark for essentially $10, right? And then that's what we pride ourselves on, delivering family affordable fun.
Sure.
The affordable is important, but at the same time we amass with that, we say value, so that you've got the entertainment value. And the professionalism is certainly within the lines on the playing field. That's the kind of thing we control. The hot dog's got to be hot, cold drink's got to be cold, and not the other way around.
Right.
So we pride ourselves on those, preparing for everything we can. Like I said, creating the atmosphere that's good, and that's what we do. So the affordability factor has to be there. And again, I think with the ownership group, not charging for parking, you've got that ability to walk up on an impulse. Okay, what would it cost us? Okay, we got a deal tonight? Wow, we got such. You're in the ballpark. Our food and beverage pricing is very affordable. Merchandise, alluring and very affordable. Digital program, all the right things. And there's not really a lot of nickel and diming you at all. We've got a prize wheel where you can win a hat for a $1 spin. I mean, that's our biggest gouge, but it's a game of chance, right?
Sure.
It's silly. And that's the only place in the ballpark where we take cash is on the prize wheel. But that's new. It's silly, but
yeah, but it's still fun.
Yeah, the value is all right there, and I like to think that we're in the business of creating family affordable fun, as I mentioned, with value, and then memories. That's all we can do is create the memories. We're at the exit gates, fielding your feedback. Hey, we had a good time, or we'll be back, or I'll tell a friend. Those are the things that are gratifying and get you up the next day. And because these guys do the spectacular stuff on the field, we try to create the environment that's alluring and comfortable, safe, friendly, and fun. And it shucks you.
And field a good baseball team.
And the good memories, right?
Yeah.
And field a good baseball team.
So I rambled on what I know.
No. I think that's great. So that's what I'm saying from a sponsor standpoint. And so everything was sourced locally, is what I'm hearing you say. Like the uniform. Now, how many uniforms do we have, color-wise?
There's 18 different combinations, I believe. So
18
yes.
different combinations.
And there's some creative and interesting and great ones. So
oh, really?
You have to come out and check it out.
But there's 18 possibilities.
I don't know what I'm allowed to give away.
No, whatever you can.
Three different uniforms, essentially, right? But if you mix and match them, then you've got 18 different color combinations, which is pretty fun. Yeah. Thank goodness there's somebody good at math or fashion or design or apparel, whatever it might be.
Just need to know we don't have the traditional gray pants on the road, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just
a teaser.
Speaking to that, it's funny is our league president will be coming to the game on Thursday night for opening night. Support us, but we're non-conventional in a few things. You'll no longer see the neon yellow foul poles that have been tried and true for 20 years. We now have our teal foul poles. Our home run line is going to be teal. Like I said, the whole accents in the ballpark reflect that. It's just different. And we had to lean into that, right? 20 years of developing a very good thing with a red and blue standard. Right. We went different, just like Jay's shirt, teal, or like this green right here. It's a little different.
Well, I think the colors are amazing. I think that the marketing department did a good job, on picking, because I think it's a nice color. Yeah. Of course, I like shades of blue and green, so.
Well, it's got to impact, right? And it's got to create that, again, a memory. And so hopefully you come out to the game and you say, hey, I had a good time. Every time you see a teal or a green, you're going to say, hey, listen, reminds me of the Mud Monsters.
which
So-
is really cool. It's really, really cool. I'm excited.
too.
Opening day is here.
Sure is.
It's here. I'm excited to see it. Going to be there myself.
Thank you very much. man.
Looking forward to it, and I appreciate you coming by. I know y'all have a lot to do, and we thank you very much for just spending a few minutes with us.
Thanks for having us.
Kind
This
of
has
tell
been
us a little
great.
bit about yourselves, and especially about who's managing the game.
Yeah.
So are you going to be in the dugout, or are you going to stand on third?
I'm going to coach third base. Yeah,
There's a lot of field managers.
I want a
don't
nice
do that.
close-up
That's what I
view.
know. That's what I
There's a
know.
lot
Most
to
field
do.
managers are in the dugout. That's why I was going
we
to
don't
ask.
quite have the numbers and staff to be
Oh,
able to
okay.
have that many.
But
sit in the
you are
dugout,
going to
but
be. I'll be seeing
yeah.
you on third base.
Yeah, I'll be out there coaching third, which I love to do. So it's nice to be right out there.
I know my son talks about it, and just this sidebar here, my son talks about that because when he was first coming up coaching, he got stuck in the dugout. He's like,
Yeah.
Dad, I'm tired of being the dugout coach. And finally he managed to make his way out, onto the field, where he's first base or third base, and that's just his passion, right?
Yeah, it's the closest you can get to playing
To
when,
playing.
You're, when you're not playing.
When
At
you're
least
not
you get
playing.
to make some judgments and make some decisions. But
I know, right?
And he's throwing batting practice every day too. I mean, it's
Are you really?
hands on right there.
yeah, just everyone's got to do everything.
Were you
so.
a pitcher in a past life before you played
No,
the shortstop?
no,
Did you ever pitch?
Just try to have the touch to throw BP. And that's
Oh, okay. So you just, I was going to say shortstop, pitcher. That's usually interchangeable in high school.
pitched till I was 12, but yeah, I just wanted to play shortstop.
You
so.
can. You're capable of pitching.
I've seen it. He can.
He can't. Right. He's being modest. He's being nice, but he's capable of pitching. Who's the pitching coach?
Robert Carson
Where does he join us from?
from Hattiesburg. So he was got the coach of the year in this league a couple years ago for Quebec, which ended up winning the championship that year. So he's got
he's
as
a-
a player,
yeah.
great player,
Yeah.
played in the major leagues,
Right.
obviously, but local guy, just great with the players. It's the main reason that we chose him. He's,
I think so. That sounds like a win. How did you?
Yeah, he relates well to the players.
Yeah.
well, everyone wants to stay close to here, so that's what's
Right.
helping us out. He wanted to stay close to Mississippi.
Wanted to stay close to
Some
home.
of the players that we got want to stay close to home, so that's a big draw.
That was a benefit
us.
for him because he got to come basically back home.
Yeah.
Because teams wanted him.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
say.
certainly Jay said, "Hey, this is a good spot for you." And boom.
Wow.
The connection's really good. You see it with the players and him.
So our pitching's going to be solid.
staff.
Our pitching's going to be solid from what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
From what I'm
he's-
hearing you say.
He's great at fine tuning and
Yeah.
kind of keeping the focus on winning games, throwing strikes, attacking the zone, and not getting distracted by some of the.
the noise.
different thing, yeah.
all this stuff. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to this. It's going to be great. I mean, I'm excited. I've been excited since day one. It's fresh. It's new. Thank you, Andy, for coming in. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for bringing.
I'm always running security for this guy, no problem.
Jay with you. We appreciate it very much. So, Thursday, May 8th.
Yes, sir.
May 8th, Thursday, May 8th, opening night, Mississippi Mud Monsters at Trustmark Park. You got to be there. Hey, we're going to step aside just a quick second, and when we come back, we're going to talk about May 8th happening, Mud Monsters, and what else is going on this week in the city of Pearl. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Well, hi, folks, and welcome back into this edition of This Week in Pearl. What a fantastic time this has been. I tell you what, I am so excited about Mud Monsters baseball coming in to Trustmark Park. I'm looking so forward to it. It was great having Anthony Seymour bring in the field manager, Jay Pesci, to really learn about them and learn about the baseball team and how that's going to be this year, because I am a fan of baseball and love it. And so excited that they took a few minutes out of their busy schedule getting ready for this week to come in and tell us a little bit about them and to get to understand who they are and the type of players that we're going to have and where they're from and just the type of play. I'm looking so forward to it. So please go out and support Mississippi Mud Monsters baseball. All right, so what's going on in Pearl this week? Lots. In-person absentee voting is happening right now for the general election. If you want to come into the clerk's office at the City Hall, you can come in from 8 to 5 and vote absentee in person. Please do that. Exercise your right to vote for mayor and alderman of your choice. Not everyone has somebody running against them, but there are a couple in the mayor's race and a couple in alderman as well. So that is happening right now every day in the clerk's office up until the weekend before the general election. Also, you can come on Saturday between the hours of 8 a.m. and noon and vote absentee there as well. All right, so Pearl Main Street is presenting Midtown Sunset Series. That kicked off last Friday. They had to postpone it because of weather, but this Friday, May 9th, it's going to be a band called Pop Fiction. You're going to want to check them out. It starts at 7 p.m. right outside the Senior Services building in the grassy area between Senior Services and Public Works. You can't miss it. Tents and stage and all that set up out there. Pop Fiction takes the stage at 7 p.m. So you're going to want to see that. They're going to be beverages and drinks and all kinds of things that you can purchase out there during this event. Wonderful time. Come out on a Friday night and just have some good family fun. Also, spring cleanup is going on right now. It started May 3rd and is going through May 17th. So everything from leaves and limbs, you can drag all of that to the street. Please make sure you separate the leaves and limbs, and then you can take furniture and other odds and ends stuff to the city compactor for no charge for Pearl residents only. No charge for that. Now, can't take any hazardous materials, no hazardous liquids, no explosive materials, and no tires are accepted. For more information there, you can reach out to the city compactor by dialing 601-932-9222. And also just a reminder that the Mud Monsters opening night is May 8th. That's a Thursday night, opening night, May 8th at Trustmark Park, Mississippi Mud Monsters baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. Very excited that that's going to happen. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you spending some time with us this week. Until next time, I'm your host, Frank Hutton. I'll see you next time.